recording.
God damn it. Can you imagine the session actually starts with N-Universe Will cracking open a D&T book?
So, last time
On Dragon Ball Z.
on Tolkien Off the Rails, you guys witnessed horror unlike any you could conceive. Just a mind-bending flaw in the very existence of the reality as you know it. Just the most horrid turn of events, and also you almost fought a Balrog.
We ran.
We're currently in the treetop city of Gothlorien, as ruled by the now kind of crazy elf witch Galadriel, who, in a fit of despair, has rebounded with just the biggest fucking schmuck you've ever seen. Some fucking schlubby fucking 30-year-old paunchy man named Will. After the untimely death of her husband, Celeborn, via poisoned laxative wine. Galadriel has agreed to allow you to take one of her most promising pupils as an ambassador from Gothlorien to meet at Smaug's council. The pupil happened to be Krabbin, from back in your old Hobbit adventure days.
Yay!
So you now have an elf witch of your own at your disposal. It's the morning of your second day in Gothlorien. You've decided to stay a couple of days because you almost got killed by a primeval demon, and you might have needed just a little bit of time to ruminate on that. Crambone and Durza managed to avoid the worst of it, but the stakes have gone up a little bit. Especially because, unlike a lot of the past monsters you've faced, the Balrog did not seem keen on talking.
It was only a matter of time before we found something we couldn't convince to, be our friend.
Guys, I need water. The stakes have gone up again. Dorothy says at the oven as her breakfast is going up in flames.
Don't throw water on it, Goroth. You know better than that.
Sorry. Someone get me some oil to throw on it.
Fuck's sake.
Foggle go ahead.
No, whatever. I just eat it like this.
I'm imagining Dorothy eating it while it's still on fire. When she says like this.
That's dragon style, baby.
The fucking little Drogoth is like,
why did you get it wet first?
Dorothy just picks up the skillet, blows on it, then Judge just grabs the steak and noshes on it.
Yeah, that's the way.
Pilcher walks in, sees the stuff on fire, walks back out.
meanwhile, Arena just has a platter of Gothlorien pancakes. Which I imagine are blueberry with kind of that purplish grape syrup.
Ooh.
Like the goth.
I mean, that's one. There's also chocolate chip pancakes because that's what Galadriel's husband loves the most. I mean, you can't eat as many as you can normal pancakes because the chocolate makes them feel really filling. But I mean, they're just so good. You don't even need the syrup. You don't even need to put syrup on them. You can just eat them. Just so good. God, I miss college. God, I miss making chocolate chip pancakes for people. What has my life become? Anyway, so
It become Tolkien.
that's right. I'm married to my beautiful elf wife. That's the life I'm living right now. It's me and Kate Blanchett together in our dream. It's me and her. That's what's happening for real in my life now.
Ooh, backfired on you, didn't it?
I'm sorry for the people who weren't here last session having to deal with this now.
Why the fuck would they be listening to this session if they haven't listened to the last?
It's not uploaded yet.
Unless Scalda misnumbered it again.
No, I got it. I just haven't uploaded it yet, out of spite. Directly out of spite, and not because I'm absolutely exhausted every night, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
God, it's really real for a minute there.
It's the morning. You guys know where you have to go to next, which is the Kingdom of Rohan. They have horses. And after that, you've got to go to Gondor, and in between Rohan and Gondor, you could, if you wanted to, take a brief detour to Isengard to see what's going on there. You have heard that Saruman may be up to some bad business, and thus probably shouldn't be asked to send an ambassador to the council, but you never know.
Second thought, let's not go to Isengard. It is a silly place.
I'm looking forward to Rohan. I haven't ridden a horse in a hot minute.
You could assassinate Saruman.
We're not an assassin.
Let's not try to kill a wizard.
It was a
Like a bad
joke.
idea.
Also, you know, from what I've read, if you kill someone like him, you also die.
It was a joke. Is that a cat?
Yes, that's my cat.
Aww. It's tiny and angry.
Yes,
Scream!
she has a very high-pitched voice.
She's so cute.
Cat has important things to say. You should
Yeah.
listen.
Yes, cat, whose name I don't know. Tell the internet what you think.
Typical fucking cat. Oh,
I know.
bastard.
There we go.
Hey, bro.
I only talk when I feel like it. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Mimosa is going to say, well, killing a wizard isn't a good idea. You know, the Balrog that we ran from, probably about the same threat level as a wizard. Don't want to chance that. But we should, like, warn Rohan that there's now an unfriendly wizard directly on their borders.
Yeah, we probably should do that.
Assuming they already don't either A, know, or B, have fallen under his influence.
Well, if they've fallen under his influence, that's also a problem we should take care of.
I mean, we can do round 2 electric boogaloo.
Yeah, we have to make sure that there wasn't something didn't worm their way in.
I will gladly serve.
Yeah, you don't want something tonguing the king.
Fucking damn it, both of you.
King's favorite worm.
I shouldn't.
King.
Even if it would be funny, no.
What?
Oh, you know.
Flee!
Hello?
Don't worry. Do I do it? What?
Wouldn't it be like a real talk? Wouldn't it be like a toddler this time?
Grandma Wormtongue? Probably, yeah.
Either a toddler or like a very young teenager. You might be like 13 years old. We're not entirely 100% correct on the timeline of some things, but we're fudging some things to make shit more interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait personally to go get a horse. I'm excited for horses.
But yes, that is an advantage because I don't think Isengard knows that the rest of the world knows that we're against that he betrayed us yet.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know much about the whole world don't know that yet.
Well, Gothloria knows for a fact, so And if we can go and form Gondor and Rohan, which makes 3. I'll probably send a message to Smaug.
I think Mimosa did that with a raven.
Yeah, I did do that.
So you warned? Oh yeah, you warned about the Balrog and Saruman.
Mm-hmm. And what the Balrog said about, wanting to kill things, and Sauron being kind of pissy that Dragon isn't listening to him. Might want to watch out for that.
Our big advantage of having a dragon has now been somewhat nullified by the fact that they have a fucking Balrog.
Well, Smaug did say he's going to try to get his cousins involved.
Hope that helps.
Yeah.
But Smaug is the last of the fire drakes, so
Second to last.
second to last. She pats him on the head.
I'm not sure how well that does against a being made of fire.
Well, it goes both ways.
Question: is there an ice dragon we could throw at the fire dragon? You know, that has a weird dynamic kind of a balance. If we throw the ice dragon at the fire dragon, at the fire
Fire
demon,
dragon's on our side.
not fire dragon, fire demon. Apologies, I'm still waking up. I ain't gotten through my first cup of coffee yet. Give me a hot second. Goddamn. On my ass already today, aren't you, Soldier?
Strider looks at me and is like, I'm sorry, but the story of the ice dragon is a fiction concocted by the bard George R.R. Martin. It's not real.
I don't know what's real and what's not real out there no more, man. I don't fucking question things anymore.
There are no ice dragons.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, the world I came from was a book that's known in both. Does that mean this George R.R. Martin thing is also another world?
No,
Sounds
no.
depressing.
It was incredibly depressing and full of murder and violence.
I'm pretty sure no one wants to live in the world of his stories.
Oh, that's probably where my shit little brother got sent. So,
Oh god.
Meanwhile in Westeros, Edmund's just screaming and running away as a bunch of murder rapists try to skin him alive or whatever the fuck would happen in Game of Thrones.
This was a bastard right.
Time to murder and rape as we do. It's Game of
That
Thrones.
seems to be what George Martin thinks people do. Just like for fun. Just like always.
That's all people do. Because it's like, they don't got TV, what are they gonna do? Rape people.
Listen, the world is 50% murder rapists. That's just a fact by George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, the other 50% are religious zealots who like to burn people, so you know.
Oh well, okay. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. It's 50% and 49.9999999, a very small percentage of just being like normal human beings.
And yeah, they're the ones that are getting murdered and raped, so that's numbers going down by the second.
Yeah,
Holy
like
shit.
reality. It's more realistic than normal fantasy, which makes it better.
Oh, damn, this got...
Started already.
Brienne of Tarth deserves a better story.
That's fair.
Justice for Brienne. Anyways, so yeah.
Just no murder rapists in Lord of the Rings, because Grim and Wormtongue is not old enough.
Also, he just was really bad at it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Which is good.
Anywho, Aragorn, buddy, you ever seen a horse?
My name is Strider,
Has he ever seen a horse?
and
No.
yes, I've seen several horses.
No,
I
never.
thought you guys rode velociraptors.
That's
The elves ride velociraptors. I'm a ranger.
Mimosa doesn't ride.
You were living with the elves.
I mean, recently, yeah.
Mimosa doesn't ride a horse.
Did they not give you a velociraptor to ride?
Yeah, I can ride velociraptors too.
All right.
I'm just saying I've also seen horses.
They're kind of hard to miss.
Either way, I think we're going to need a amount of some description. to get to Rohan.
I don't know if there's an abundance of horses in Gothlorien here, but we could ask.
We are in the trees. Are horses known for climbing trees?
Can we ride monkeys? Are there monkeys in the trees? Monkeys live in
What the
trees.
fuck is a monkey?
What is a monkey? Is that one of them
I
damn
don't
things
know.
you saw out fucking east or something?
Isn't
Yeah.
that a racial slur for humans?
You know,
Um,
we had a dark joke last session. We'll have a dark joke this one, I guess. Oh, wait, is it me calling it? Okay, you know what? Just not gonna probe that one.
Yeah, we're just gonna
Jesus.
stop right there.
I mean, I was just thinking that because humans are primates, sometimes non-human races call them monkeys. But sure, make it. Real.
I mean, like, they're they're things that like climb in the trees, and they eat fruit. Like
I made a
throwing shit
joke
at stuff.
I made a joke about a goblin king named Frieza earlier.
Well, that's true. Just give up.
You've been born.
This is not even my
Oops.
final form.
Ring, why are you singing that?
Scrolled down too far in the art room and saw that goddamn gif.
There we go.
I can't help it that Calculine was drawn by TT.
You know what would be funny is that if Dragon Ball Z was just like much lower power level than other fantasy series, so that even like the highest level characters would just get like one shot by like an orc from Tolkien. They just seem powerful in their own setting, but it's like
You haven't
They're
seen
not.
my full power. The fucking
It turns
orc just
out. It
punches him in
turns
the
out.
mouth.
It turns out 100 times DBZ Earth's gravity is like half of our gravity. So like none of them can fucking fly. Krillin just liquefies upon contact.
What the fuck is this session already?
No.
I don't know. You guys need to leave Gothlorien. It's just a silly place.
Okay, let's ask if they have anything that we could ride that wouldn't, eat horses
Yeah.
upon seeing the horses, because I'm pretty sure that the people of Rohan would not appreciate that. All I know about them is that they really like their horses.
I
mean, like, on a
Krabbin enters the doors like, why don't we just ride a boat?
Ride a boat
We're-
to Rohan?
we're-
Is there a river that
Crabbing, we're in the trees.
Yeah, but not too far from here, there is a river. Feeds into the Great Fall of Raros on the Anduin River. We can ride that most of the way to Rohan, and then it's just a couple hours walk.
That sounds alright.
Yeah.
Boat adventures. I gotta sing my boat tunes.
I've been doing my research as a DM.
that sounds better than finding some random animal to ride on, like a giant bunny or something.
Yeah, they don't really have mounts here,
Or a
Well,
pulled by bunny.
except for that one.
Let's not.
That one.
I don't think I want to know.
I don't think you can call the queen's new husband a mount, but alright.
You were all saying it.
We were all thinking it.
I was the only one who wasn't. I was like, wait, what?
We just weren't gonna say it. Damn it.
Let's get out of here. So just stops out the whole fucking place. She's just done with all this.
So we go ask for a boat then. I guess.
The harbor master says yes, and they schedule a time for you guys to go down the river. And Lady Galadriel herself will present you with some gifts.
Oh,
Ooh, gifts.
Gift's good.
What are you giving us now, TT? And is this a bribe for scaring us shitless from the frickin' Balrog last session?
Well, first of all, everyone gets some cool elven cloaks with brooches, specific, Gothlorian brooches, which in this case are of a skull now because they've committed. And the cloaks have like a cool spider web pattern, and they got like big collars, like Dracula capes.
Hell yeah.
And when you wear an elven cloak, once per day you can disguise yourself as terrain. Automatically passing a disguise check.
Oh, what's that? What's the name of the cloak? Like,
Cloak of Elvenkind, I think.
Gothlorian cloak.
no, Cloak of Elvenkind just gives you advantage on stealth checks.
Yeah, well, this is better.
Yeah.
Second, you get some elven rope. It's like everyone gets 50 feet of this really good, strong silk rope to tie to things. You get some boats. Let's see. So, well, that's just a pretty rock, isn't it? Fuck it, not that. Some belts. You get some fixed up equipment. One elf who has a slightly crazed look in her eye hands you all bows and says, "The bowstrings are made of my hair." So you have some masterwork bows. Some masterwork Galadrim bows.
Arena looks at the bow, looks to her gun, looks to the bow, looks to the gun.
Masterwork bow, huh? That helps
Yeah, what
me.
I already,
Plus
I
one.
already have one.
Okay, just a +1 longbow.
Yeah, it's a masterwork longbow. Yeah.
The crazy special elf bow Panglock. I'm fine.
But it's made of my hair.
Why?
She also gives you a box. Galadriel herself gives you a box that has a silver rune on it that is G for Galadriel or for Goth, and inside is dirt.
What?
You'll know what to do with it, she says with a wink and gives you this box of dirt.
What?
Crambone happily takes the dirt.
Apparently we're fighting Davy Jones. Okay.
And finally, for Kraben, she gives the Vial of Galadriel. It's that little thing that shines up. It's like a daylight spell.
Mm-hmm.
There. My hair bow question mark is in my items now.
There you go, everybody. You got your gifts from Galadriel.
Okay, and
Remind me what the cloak does. I'm trying to put it in.
Once per day, you can automatically succeed a stealth check or a hide check. I forget what the fuck they call it nowadays.
Disguise.
By disguising yourself as the surrounding landscape. So let's say you're in a crater. You can disguise yourself and you look like a great big boulder. Or you're in the woods. You look like a great big bush. Anything to just basically make anyone think that you're just part of the landscape and thus ignore you. But you can only use it once per day, or roughly once per session.
Gotcha.
And you all get masterwork longbows if you want them. And Kraben's got the Vial of Galadriel.
Ooh, I could get
and but the rest of you have a very special box of dirt. You'll know what to do with it.
Do we all have one, or is it just one big one?
It's a communal box of dirt.
Crambone is holding on to the box of dirt.
Yay!
I have. Why did we get hair bows?
Don't
Because
question anything.
look, they're just saying you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Similar situation. Don't look the crazed bow up and down with a creepy detail. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
JT,
Yeah?
how is Klaus reacting when Rena's given a bow?
You're not using that.
No, I'm not.
This is a much better weapon. I am a much better weapon than that.
Aww.
Yeah, but
Strange that both your projectile weapons are elf powered the way, though.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking hate.
Is that what we are for? Machineries of war?
Oh,
In Mordor, yes. But not normal places. You're much more than a weapon, Klaus. You're a friend.
Oh,
Oh, thank you, Ring.
that's gross. But cute.
Why is that gross?
Disgusting.
Because she's starting to ship them in her head and she hates it. My
Just
virus grows.
disgusting.
I view them as platonic besties.
Yeah, it's platonic.
I
Sauron has long since passed the point of romantic attraction, and Klaus is probably a child.
Yeah, I know, that's why it's gross. Brain shouldn't do that.
Oh,
And
oh.
Galadriel's like, thank you all for warning us of the dangers in the mines of Moria, and for reaching out to try and include Gothlorien in the plans of Erebor to resist the forces of Sauron. We have already lost so much with the passing of Gandalf and my former husband, but and she looks lovingly to her schlub of a new beau, Will, who's currently fidgeting with some shit in his hands like a fucking loser. Perhaps
Why,
brighter
though?
things await us.
Why though?
I just find him very sexy.
What the hell were you expecting if I asked you that question?
I don't know.
I mean,
Look, you don't shame a lady's taste.
hey, everybody's got their own taste. I have no room to talk and or judge. I've had some interesting relationships in my time. Why we get on the boat, Sotra, and I tell you about them.
God damn it.
Sotra's gone.
Sotra's gone.
You guys get on the boats, and as you kick off, the elves of Lothlorien wave you a fond farewell, and the last thing you see is Galadriel picking Will right off the ground and just making out with him very forcefully.
I wonder if I could nail him here. Let's see if I actually hit. 20!
You go
I'm
and
not
draw
okay.
your
actually
bow.
doing it. I'm
And
not
So,
actually doing
so roll your damage.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm not actually doing it. 9!
9. All right, the arrow strikes Will
No,
right between the ribs. So he screams out in pain, and all the elves immediately rush to his side.
Now the Sorcerer quit ruining the game!
so
First the Balrog, now turning all Gothlorien against this goddamn.
Congratulations, you've killed the DM.
pretty sure this is a joke, Kay.
There's no one else.
No, I'm also joking.
There's none of us allies in 5 feet, and he wasn't expecting it. So sneak attack damage, 13.
God damn it.
Damn it.
All right, you obliterate his chest like Fallout when you have the gory messwork on. Will's head and arms go flying through the air while his fucking legs briefly stay upright before slumping over to the ground and spilling his intestines onto the dirt. All the elves scream as they're caked in gore, and Galadriel wails with the kind of grief that one can scarcely imagine, for she has now lost the love of her life not once, but twice.
God damn
Wow.
it,
You have caused misery beyond imagining to the people of Gothlorien, and it is quite possible they will never be happy again.
I'm so glad none of that happened.
Retcon! Sotra goes
The
to
thought-
twitch at her bow, and Mimosa elbows her right in the stomach.
The thought of this possible outcome brings you a small shred of joy, and you wonder if there might be something supremely fucked up about you that you're fantasizing about this.
She thinks about it for a second. Nah, and turns away.
Good. I really hate to have to beat down a party member.
Yeah.
10 party crew smacked down on Sotra.
Real talk, if fucking Sorcerer did that, Reno's gonna pull the gun and put it through.
Real talk, if
Do that.
Sotra did that, you'd have to reload a new save, because you just would have gotten an infamous reputation in the town of Gothlorien.
They would have been fucking screwed.
For your atrocious actions against the community, you are now vilified.
We would have just beaten you down and served you back to them. Hey, we got your assassin. Can we
my
please have our
God.
rep back?
I regret this choice.
As
Yeah,
you
don't-
should.
Don't kill Will. Everyone loves him. He's so great.
It's more like don't murder Hobo.
I'm
Yeah,
not a
don't
murder
kill Will.
hobo!
He's so beloved. Everyone loves him.
Damn it.
Anyway, you travel down the River Anduin. And it's a nice, pleasant time.
You sure?
Yeah. Eventually, you reach, you reach some cliffs. These massive cliffs, on either side of the river, which it makes a gorge through to feed into a lake above the Great Fall of Raros. And carved into these stones are two massive statues of past kings of Gondor.
Oh, fuck, it's Valley of the End.
This looks like compensation to me.
Strider looks at it and it's like, it's the Pillar of Kings.
What's this Naruto bullshit?
And he looks at one in particular and seems just a little bit intense as he stares at it.
You alright, pal?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just, we're heading into territory of Gondor.
Here, I'm gonna roll an insight on that. I have no wisdom.
You're a bard, my dude.
Well, at least you admit it.
You get half your proficiency to anything you're not proficient in.
Right.
So technically, that's like a 21.
Is the kid alright, or is he all fucked up?
He's not like emotionally distressed or anything, but it's clear there's something on his mind as you are passing into the territory of Gondor.
Would Arena have any advantage from what they talked about in the tech session? For an insight?
You could give it a try. You never got him to actually open up entirely about his stuff.
The one that mattered.
Yep.
Hey, bud. Now, you need anything while we're here, you just let me know, alright? I got your back.
23.
Sure. Thanks.
23.
Sotra. Kid staring really intense at that statue.
Did you
Clearly that he has some special feelings about whoever the fuck that guy is in the statue. Maybe if someone did a history check, you might know who the statues are of.
I'll go with you.
I can do a history
Shoot
check.
at once!
That's
Wow.
Check. Oh, fuck me.
I'll try.
Dorothy, you're just so like how
That's
does
a
that
10.
relationship even work with Galadriel and Will? She's like a foot taller than him. She's huge.
Dorothy's fiance is several feet taller than her.
Yeah.
She knows exactly
Yeah.
how it works and she hates it.
Flog got 18 and Sotra got a 14.
Cool. Flog. You recognize the statues. They're of kings of Gondor. You're vaguely aware of the kings of men.
His
You
mother's
do-
former Rohirrim.
You recognize one of them as well. Yes, but according to my atlas and looking at my maps and the charting the voyage of the Fellowship, there is some overlap between Gondor and Rohan territory. The Argonath was approached before you guys made it to Rohan. This is significantly north of where you need to go in Gondor, which is specifically the city of Minas Tirith. You got to remember that like these are countries. These are very large swaths of land with lots of different cities and subparts in them. And Gondor and Rohan have a bit of overlap because they're they're technically separate countries, but like they're kind of connected countries. Sort of like Germany and Austria, where it's like, yeah, you're not the same country, but like you're kind of the same country though. So like you recognize one of the statues as King Isildur, who was notable as the guy who cut off one of Sauron's fingers.
Hmm.
Is the ring flickering as we pass by the statue?
The ring is also you also get a sort of intense sense of concentration from the ring. It seems the ring has just as many somewhat imperceptible thoughts as Strider has at the situation. That for both of them, passing by a statue of Isildur is kind of making them contemplate, where they are and where they've come from.
Since most people don't seem to know who these statues are, Flog will point out that, he doesn't know the other statue. One is Isildur, the man who struck down the Dark Lord previously.
Huh. Neat.
Yeah. Hobbits don't give a fuck. Like,
Well.
oh, okay, that's cool.
Just giving context
Yeah,
to the statues.
She appreciates it, but she still doesn't give a shit.
Interesting that for all his failings as a person, they still decided to make a statue of him.
Commentary!
Relevant.
So-
That's relevant.
Shit. Sorry. Just really good timing. Mimosa thanks Flog for pointing out that that's who that is. She goes, I don't recall most of the story because they don't really teach us any of that in school in Hobbiton because it isn't seen as important. But we do know who Isildur is because that cutting off Sauron's hand and saving everybody basically from being enslaved or dying, that was kind of a big deal. Just never seen him before.
That must be newer school, and I don't remember nothing about this feller.
Well, they didn't have a picture. You should know who Isildur is.
Should I, though?
That's fair. You had a different school teacher than I did. Maybe they sucked.
I mean, half the time they weren't there. Something about field trips, and then nobody ever gave me a permission slip. Something like that.
Wow.
Why did- What? I'm just saying, why do you think I go wandering so much? Couldn't get no learning done in school, so I went and found it myself.
Hey, Mimosa.
Yeah?
So, that human and Galadriel, is that where hobbits come from?
I am absolutely not going to even consider answering that. Don't ever bring that up in the Shire. You will be shot.
If a hobbit is threatening to shoot you, you've obviously gone down the wrong path.
It is. She does have a point. Hobbits really do not like the implication that they have anything elfy in them. But the only thing worse you could say is that their ancestor was part fairy. Fairies don't even exist, probably.
Whoa, wow, TT, wow. Wow.
What? That's actual lore!
Yeah, but they actually like it, though, when you say that. It's just, I don't.
Well, some of them do. A lot of them are like, there's something off about that Bilbo fellow. Fairy blood in him. There are some hobbits. There are a sizable number of hobbits who are Hufflepuff hobbits that suck.
Yeah. Most of them are fine, but then you get those.
Yeah.
Always bad egg in a bunch.
Anyway,
I do gotta say though, those are some fine carving work. Those are massive ass towers of stone.
Yeah, they are fucking huge.
We've had that anyway like 5 times already.
Wickerbot and Socha reacted when Strider said that about the elf blood.
What's that, Erna?
Strider wouldn't be able to say anything about elf blood. He is Heinz 57 of this universe.
I mean, Strider's just saying some hobbits, you know, they do not like the idea of people having elf or fairy in them because it makes them prone to adventures and disturbing the peace.
Socha thinks about it a second. She nods.
Well, adventures do make one late for dinner.
Only if you suck at them.
Pretty
We'll
sure
be back in-
I'm pretty sure we've made.
What was that, Kay?
I said, "Wow, we suck."
Yeah, we did.
Thank you.
We've had dinner several times. We're never late for it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Dorothy's missed her dinner at home.
That's because she
Yeah.
burned it.
Hey,
Well,
it was
she
still
didn't miss
edible.
it. She just couldn't eat it because it was charcoal. Well,
Only on the outside.
she could eat it. Nobody else could.
I mean, that's fair.
Krabbin sighs, smiles, and shakes her head. Glad to see you guys haven't changed.
Why would we?
Glad to see you're still around. I wondered where you went to.
Oh yeah, glad, you know, decided to study magic with Galadriel, and it's actually been working out pretty well.
What kind of things you got?
A lot of
What kind of-
cantrips.
Okay.
Fair.
A lot of cantrips. God damn it, Will.
I'm not high level yet.
That's fair. You've just started. You can practice with us.
I'm sure whatever you have been taught is more impressive than you think.
Yeah.
One-
Not many people are good at magic.
Arena says as she's itching the bridge of her nose, that she now has a red scale patterning.
I said not many people, not nobody.
Not many people can use it at all.
Yeah, wouldn't it be weird if folks could just use magic casually? Like, imagine that.
Yeah, especially weird if they could just talk and magic happens. Or sing.
Good lord, don't give fucking him ideas, damn it.
Too late, good idea, Berlin.
What have you done?
She's rubbing her temples.
Yeah, you see.
Mimosa's not saying this in a God damn it, Sotra. She's saying this grinning, like, what have you done? Because it's like, you just gave him an idea. You show me.
I accidentally clicked on something I didn't mean to click on. Sorry.
It's fine.
It's all right.
Happens.
All right. So you guys have a very pleasant boat ride down Anduin. And eventually, now there are some plains in between that, and you got to go through Fangorn. But we can just pretend there's a river. It just allows you to shortcut through that. But they probably would have taken it if they weren't looking for Merry and Pippin, because then that's one of the reasons detours, because Merry and Pippin got split off from the group. So you don't have that problem. Really. All right.
Someone was trying to take the Cobus to Isengard.
Yeah. So you guys make your way down through a lake to a dock at. Why does my atlas not have a name for this town? The capital of Rohan,
Edoras.
where they're Edoras, yeah, Billy. And Edoras is, well, physically it's larger than Rivendell or Gothlorien, and even larger than the lake town. It is physically very large. the buildings aren't quite as aesthetically pleasing as artful in their craft as the buildings of Rohan, the building of Rivendell and Gothlorien. They're a bit more utilitarian, a bit more practical, not quite as artistically and intricately carved. That doesn't mean it's bad to look at. It's just that this is a place that looks a little bit more down to earth. Like, it wasn't made by these luminous first peoples who are near perfect in every way. You pass by several common folk as you go, and some of them look at you, your party, which contains 2 hobbits,
Which they would
2
be excited
elves,
about. Canonically, they would be very excited.
one human, and 3 fucking orcs.
That they wouldn't
And
be
they're
so
like-
excited.
You're getting some weird looks.
Also, a fucking little dragon on one with human shoulder.
Yeah, one of these got a fucking what looks to be some sort of fancy snake.
With wings.
And it doesn't help that Durza is strolling around in Numenorian armor with a elven sword strapped over her.
Well, in a way, it kind of does, because according to my atlas, the people of Rohan were historically friends with the Dunedain.
The what?
The
The Dunedain, who are Numenorian descendants, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep, that's right.
So, the Numenorian armor probably brings to mind some ancient history of Rohan.
It doesn't help the party to not stand out, I should say.
Yeah. But, like, you guys would come in, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Well,
I love this town. It's more my kind of shindigs, if you know
Are
what
those
I mean.
hobbits or goblins? I don't know what the difference is.
So Chris considering steering someone
Hey,
who's just
At
worked
least
out
2 of those are elves, though.
I was gonna say, Flog, having been raised on stories from his mother, he used to be a Rohirric scout, is trying to play a little bit of tour guide, but like he clearly has never seen any of this in himself.
Plus side, your fashion is on point for Rohan. You look like you could be a Rohan descendant.
Which he is.
I want to see them
Yeah,
horses.
kidding.
Everyone keeps on telling me there's horses here, and I want a horse.
Yeah,
I
you
will.
you pass by several stables, but mysteriously, they're all empty.
Oh, motherfucker.
Butcher walks up to one of the stables. Is there anyone standing by the stables?
Yeah, there's a man sitting on a stool with his head in his hands.
Excuse me, sir.
Are you an elf?
Yes.
I've always wanted to be an elf.
What? Excuse
What,
me.
Pardon me.
Why today?
What,
Why do you come to me now? Why didn't you come before when I was young? Not now in my ruin and misery.
Listen. You have 5 seconds to explain.
They stole all the horses.
Who stole the horses?
I don't know, but all
When?
of my horses have been stolen.
Sir,
This is a
Last
Oh,
night I was
God.
feeding them oats, and I went to bed, and this morning they're all gone.
Doja puts her hands on his shoulders and looks him dead in the eye. And stares at him for a minute. Speak
They're so beautiful.
calmly.
Did you fuck my cat?
I'll tell you what happened. Says an old Rohan native. 'Twas a dead of night last night. Everyone's sleeping safe and sound in their bed. Suddenly, all the horses were gone. We wake up and see not a trace, not hide nor hoof, of any horse in Rohan. And what be the people of Rohan without their horses? Just a bunch of assholes.
This is in fact, Grandpa's gonna take off his hat for a second and be like, this is in fact a most dire time for you. You have my sympathies.
It's like
Arr.
Did
If
anybody?
you want to help us get our horse, why am I a pirate?
Why are you a pirate?
Why are you a
Get our
pirate?
horses back.
The pirate
Talk to the
Rohan.
Talk to the king to get the horses back. Excellent. I will gladly do so because, god damn it, I travel all this way to see some motherfucking horses, and there ain't no motherfucking horses in this motherfucking Rohan.
Also, I meant to ask earlier, but on the map that Arena, well, not pilfered, but copied from Cecil, which ring wraiths are in the direct area we're in?
Rohan is being covered by one ring wraith named Helm Hammerhand.
Fucking knew it.
Wow. That sounds like an interesting fellow.
This is
Is there a ring wraith around here?
yes, one of
All the people start speaking in hushed tones. Ring wraiths, Nazgul, oh no, they haven't been seen in centuries. Are we sure it's centuries? Does the timeline match up for that? Well, a while. How about that? They haven't seen in a while. Okay, that looks like a while. Centuries seems like it may not be entirely accurate.
She fucking rolls her eyes and keeps looking at
It sounds like two actors breaking character to try and figure out their script.
You see the glue factory, and its owner is sadly shutting his doors.
Oh my god.
At least something good can come.
No more
from this.
business for me.
yes, it says that this area is covered by Helm Hammerhand.
Well, Hammerhand's about to get a big old fucking boot up his ass. That's what's going to happen.
Listen, we don't. I mentioned this earlier before we got to the stolen horses. I was just wondering.
I'm telling you all this. I don't think it's no Nazgul. I think there's only one thing that could be behind this. The horse-napping dragon of Rohan.
What?
Slippery Joe.
What?
Yep.
Pardon
Seen
my
him
friend.
with my own eyes. He's like a snake, but he's way bigger than a snake. So fucking big. Slippery Joe just slithered into town and ate all our horses.
I'm going to find the Slippery Joe. I'm going to kick his ass. Crambo 100% believes this man. Like, pan down. Like, he's like grabbing the special bow from his back, getting there. I was like, I'm going to go find this dragon.
Sochi puts a hand on his shoulder. Down, Crambone.
Arena has an incredulous face as she looks to Drogoth.
I didn't need any horses.
Are there any kind of horse-eating dragons?
I mean, if I was big enough, I'd eat horses. Dad says pony is very delicious.
Don't say that too loud around here. They're really gung-ho about the horse thing.
Yeah, I can see. It's like everywhere. And sure enough, you notice, like, on the signs for every town, every building, on people's, like, mailboxes and shit, everything's just decorated with horses. It's a fucking pony parade up in here. Goddamn
Wow.
BronyCon.
It's like the early 2000s.
Oh my god, it's DashCon all over again.
Rainbow DashCon.
God damn it.
Y'all, I'm just going to go find this dragon. Just give me a second. Y'all go talk to the king. I'm going to start looking.
So,
Are we gonna tell him that it's not a dragon? No? Alright.
Well,
Do we know that it's not a dragon?
Yeah, how do we
Yes.
know?
Well, for one thing, Strider says, dragons don't have names like Slippery Joe.
I mean, people are also stupid.
I mean, they might. They might. Dragons can have whatever names they want.
For a second thing, dragons haven't been seen this far south in ages.
Arena looks at Drogoth.
Drogoth accepted.
Hey, who's it? Might as well have a meeting with the king to extend the offer of the meeting available and figure out what could have done this.
We're going to find out who took these motherfucking horses, and I'm going to go and kick their motherfucking ass.
Alright.
Horse.
So you guys make your way to the Hall of Meduseld. Or Meduseld. Sure.
Close enough.
Meduseld. Meduseld. Make your way to the Hall of Meduseld where the king lives. And as you get to like the great big winding stairs that leads up to it, there's a couple of guys in horse-themed armor, standing guard with spears. Halt! Who goes there?
Oh, I am Lady Adina of Edible. We are here on a delegation to meet with King Theoden on behest of the Council of Arable.
And I'm Strider of the Dunedain, long allies of the people of Rohan. And I'm Crabben Corch of the nation that used to be called Lothlorien until very recently, your neighbors to the north.
I am Cetra of Mirkwood.
One of the guards sort of whispers to you, Erina, are you aware that 3 of your friends are orcs?
Hello.
Things have been.
I am Flog, son of Baywin. I believe she used to be one of your number.
And I'm Dorothy Nadcracker.
Baywin, that name sounds familiar. Do you remember Baywin? I think so. We're gonna look into it. He's got sort of a Rohanish look to him, other than the tusks. Well,
And I'm Crambone, and I'm here to kick somebody's ass about stolen horses.
you know, I've never heard of evil elves before. Let them in.
Cetra rolls her eyes.
And you're all let in, and you enter the Hall of Meduseld. There's a great big, chamber leading up to the king's throne. There's lots of courtiers, including one who looks. Well, we'll get to him. But sitting at the throne is the king, and next to him is an empty seat, a second throne, and held tightly in his arms is a baby.
No.
And you can see the king is just doting on his newborn son. Doing like coochie coochie coo, and just really being very invested as a parent. To the point where he doesn't notice you until the greasiest 13-year-old you've ever seen.
Oh no.
Dressed in black velvet robes that have a palpable funk about them even from 20 feet away, as if they have not been washed in a while, slithers up to him and says, "Fire! There are newcomers approaching you."
Why am I reminded of my shit younger brother?
Hello, Pterosaur.
What the fuck is voice that?
Thank you, Grimo Wormtongue, my trusted friend and advisor.
What's his name?
Grimo Wormtongue.
What the fuck?
That's the name in the book. So,
What?
Yep.
That's so on the nose.
Yeah,
How
it
about
sure
you,
is.
How about you Google Grima Wormtongue to see what he looked like in the live-action movies? Just give that a Google.
Just give it a Google. It's great.
He's the slimiest looking motherfucker who ever slimed.
How do you spell that?
Grima, and then Wormtongue.
It'll probably autofill it for you after you put in Grima.
Okay.
It is the most on-the-nose fucking character name ever.
Our trusted advisor, Grima Wormtongue.
He looks like Snape.
He
After
does.
Avenger.
He looks like Snape's inner being.
Like Snape's inbred cousin, basically.
If Snape didn't have the charisma of Alan Rickman. I also almost like the Ralph Bakshi Grima Wormtongue, which I'll just post for you.
No, don't remind me of what that. No.
He's just some dude in a cloak.
It's kind of overdone to
That's a
say.
baby face.
It's kind of overdone to say so and so looks like a pedophile, but
Oh my god.
He
I
does
think
look
I'm
like
gonna
he
go.
does
No,
look
Dave.
like what Bad Touch would be if it was in
No,
person.
he looks like a Smash player.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Kay. God damn it, Kay.
Fucking hate that.
Relevancy 2020. We live in a hell zone.
So yeah, Grima Wormtongue. Only now imagine him at the tender age of 13,
Where he's extra greasy because he's going through puberty.
where he is as greasy as a stack of 12 Domino's pizzas.
God, the acting on
Question?
his face.
Does he actually move, or does he just slip and slide around?
He slithers.
He moves in a way that can only be called he sleazed.
Grima, you have only been steward to the king and my council for a week, but I'm already thinking it's a great decision.
She looks
You
at
have
the two.
such wise words, Grima Wormtongue.
Seriously? Seriously?
Who are you, strange travelers? I am King Theoden, and sorry, son.
Oh.
Oh,
What news do you bring? You are
We are.
rather strange on some.
I am Lady Edina of Edinburgh, and these are my companions. And gestures to.
I am Strider of the Dunedain. Krabenkorch of Gothlorien. The rest of you can introduce yourselves if you want, you know.
Crambone from around these parts.
Dorothy Madpacker of the Shire.
Durza of Rivendell.
I am Flog, son of Baywin. I believe she was once one of your people.
Mimosa Boffins of the Shire.
Sotra.
Soldier's just staring at fucking Grey Wormtongue too much.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck?
Let's have the back one.
How do you know she's Mirkwood?
She's actually him.
TT, are you gonna hurt yourself?
Yeah, you're hurting me. You're getting
I'm not going to do that much, Grima. I've got it staggered out. It's fine.
Okay. Yes, yeah, that's hurting me too.
Sent on behest of Erebor to form a committee, council, or of delegates to discuss the rising power in Mordor.
And the king looks startled by those last few words and looks to his son and says, "What do you mean by rising power in Mordor?"
Aww. We are sorry to bring this bad news to you, but Sauron has risen.
He's already unfortunately killed Gandalf the Grey.
Gandalf.
No big loss of gender.
You?
Likewise, become of urgent news from Moria. A Balrog has risen.
When he says no big loss of Gandalf, Sotra glares at him.
And
When you mention the Balrog, even Grima Wormtongue looks like, oh shit.
And likewise, through a very particularly loose-lipped orc, we have high suspicions that Isengard might also be compromised.
Also,
No. Saruman is an interested advisor.
also Nazgul stalk Middle Earth, seeking the One Ring.
We met one back in the Shire, but he was an idiot.
Hey, he has a good heart on him. He's
Oh,
just stuck in a bad mood.
Nazgul and Balrogs. We cannot trust these men, sire. They are...
Wait. Grima, though I value your wise and trusted counsel, if there's even the possibility they are correct, we must take this seriously.
Also, I have a little dragon on my shoulder. So,
Oh, that's There's a dragon?
I wish it was just a strange snake.
Okay, you gotta give her some credit. She's only about 4 months old.
I am
This
the
baby.
Rogoth. Armies will fall before me.
In due time. In due time.
Now, I also heard you had a problem with some missing horses, and that's entirely the reason why I came here, because I heard there'd be horses.
Yes. I think it would go a great deal towards proving your words are true if you would help me in reclaiming the horses that were stolen by bandits last night.
So
My
if-
How
ro-
do you mean?
Yes, my Rohirrim have been searching, and they've just come back. They found footprints that lead to the Great Wilds. If we go together... I didn't mean to say wild twice.
Great wild wild.
The Wild Wilds.
Wild, wild.
If
Not the tame wilds, the
we
wild
go
ones.
together, we could apprehend these horse thieves and bring them
Nah.
back to my beloved people.
Now, I might be new here. My name's Crambone, by the way. I will gladly help you get your horses back. This is an egregious sin amongst your people for these bandits, and they will pay dearly for what they've done. And I can roll a charisma check if you'd like, or persuasion. I will do a persuasion. I'm a bard. I should be doing that.
Good.
Nice.
24.
Okay,
Yeah.
what are you persuading him of?
We're gonna fucking help this guy, and there's nothing we're not gonna do to not help this guy.
Why do we gotta persuade him that, though?
Yeah, that was literally what he was asking you to do.
It just felt like Crambone would do it anyway.
All right.
It's just
He's just
easier
trying to
to
be
get
understanding.
You successfully persuade him. He's like, you know what? On second thought, I'll help you get the horses. As opposed to you helping me get the horses. You're right, that's better.
Meanwhile, we need to ask the ring. Is this me or was that 13-year-old giving me wrong vibes?
What?
Arena's asking the ring. Is it just me or is that 13-year-old giving me really wrong vibes?
I mean, part of it's the fact that he's a teenager, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been corrupted in some way. There's a dark magic element to the way he's moving and speaking.
So like some sort of curse?
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear that. What?
So some
You're
sort
muffled.
of curse?
Something refers?
You're really
Some sort of-
muffled, Kai.
Some sort of curse.
Some sort of curse. No, he's not talking as if he's being mind controlled. It's more like he's
He needs a bath.
He's probably been making some deals with some people who know dark magic. Given how defensive he was of Saruman, I think we've got a pretty good idea who.
And he's putting that words into the king's ear.
Yes,
So
if you want to have Rohan as a valuable ally, it might be wise to remove that boy.
when we're on the road together, I'll see what I can do.
Woo! We're gonna go get them horses.
Grima, look after my beloved son for me while I go help these people.
Of course, sire.
Grima sort of like swoops over the child and wraps it up in his slimy robes and sort of
Are you sure
looks
that-
at it almost like he's about to eat the child.
Are you sure that's okay?
Of course, Grima's one of the most trusted and friendly, kind-natured people I know.
Incite the king!
The king's couldn't believe that.
Okay, with a 13, you think the king is kind of dumb. With a 7, you think the king is very dumb.
So
I am going to insight too.
With an 11, you think the king is kind of dumb. With a 16, you think the king's judgment isn't quite so sound on this one. With a 17, you think the king, maybe isn't thinking things through entirely.
Also, Arena offers us to shake the king's hand or do
Oh, yeah, of course.
and when you did that, she cast Remove Curse.
There it finally went. Damn it.
Mimosa, You think the king might be under some sort of mind control.
Oh shit!
So tell me how remove curse works.
At your touch, all curses affecting the one creature in the object end.
Alright.
Yes, he's cleared out of anything that's on him.
Curse or dark magic, like influencing his mind.
Alright. Theoden goes, ugh, and he reflexively shuts his eyes and sort of pinches his nose as if his
you
ears
okay?
pop. I'm sorry, when he looks at Grima, who's holding his child, and is like, the fuck? You! Put my baby down!
And go get a bath.
Who are you?
Are we
Your beloved advisor, Grima Wamta.
Turn the
I have high suspicions that he is actually a thrall of the dark power who's been corrupting your mind.
One of the nobles is like, you know, he did show up in court after the other advisor mysteriously died.
return the king's son.
And you had him as a 13-year-old advisor. That doesn't make sense.
No, this is a misunderstanding, my lord.
Which,
I
nice
rolled for intimidation. Just
down.
Thursday, I want them to put the
Same
baby
here.
down.
Put that baby down.
Here, let me
The
help.
elf
I
and
got
the
it.
orc are staring him down.
No.
Grima slowly puts the young prince down on the chair, pats his head, and then raises his hands.
This is all a misunderstanding. You can trust Grima Wamta.
Sutra goes up and picks up the baby. She
I
knows
don't-
how to carry a baby.
I don't trust anyone who looks like they haven't bathed in 3 years, okay?
Says the orc.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Sutra gives the baby back to the king.
And Theoden immediately grabs his kid and is like holds him away.
Sutra draws both of her rapiers. Explain yourself.
I am just a nice ambassador.
Of Isengard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Mimosa is going to make a lasso out of her elven rope and throw it around Grima Wormtongue.
No.
He sounds worse than Gollum.
Did he get caught by the lasso?
Hey, he got caught by the lasso.
So Sutra just ties him. She hog ties him.
So Darza is going to turn to King Theoden and say, I recommend giving him a bath before you lock him up. Otherwise, I feel bad for your jailer.
Yeah, he might.
It is a shame. He is but a boy. He should not have been corrupted in this fashion.
The blame lays with his master.
The white wizard.
Yes, it's all Saruman.
Why did Saruman send you here?
To make sure King Theoden doesn't do anything bad.
If he keeps growling, I'm going to have to roll animal handling.
I cast speech with beast to understand this motherfucker.
So like he's on the ground, she presses her knee into his back. Bad how?
Bad for Saruman's plan.
Is Saruman working with Sauron?
Quite an accusation.
She pushes harder.
No. Saruman's working.
He's slowly becoming a Skeksis.
Working for himself.
Let
I
me
don't
guess.
believe you.
Urukai army, let me guess.
So we have Saruman on one side and Sauron on the other side. Is that what you're telling me?
Two towers united against you, yes.
So they are working together.
For now. But Sauron is weak. He doesn't have the ring yet. It will be child's play for Saruman to crush him.
I've been to the Black Gate, and unless Saruman has a giant army somewhere that's bigger than Sauron's, you're full of... Well, actually, you are full of shit. I can smell it. But that's not the point.
Damn, Dursa!
Jesus Christ!
Mimosa holds up a hand for a fucking high five on that one.
Sotra gives
It's
Durza
not
an approving
just
nod.
about size. It's about the
If you
quality
say
of
that,
the soldiers.
I swear, if you finish that sentence, my rapier's going into your arm.
Tell me, does Saruman have guns?
What's a gun?
Don't,
Something that's-
don't,
Something.
not inside. Bad.
I would like to point out he is a teenager.
I'm not going to shoot him. I'm just saying something the dwarves of Erebor have that neither Sauron nor Saruman, that neither Sauron nor Saruman will have.
Then it would be prudent to take Erebor off the map.
Sotra
And
Was that-
Wormtongue smiles evilly.
pulls out Orc Wrist as it glows and like jabs into the floor right next to his face.
My floor!
God damn it, my floor!
That's
You
gonna
will
take
tell
that's
us.
gonna take like a whole week to fix!
You will tell us everything.
All right. So, Saruman and Sauron are working together, and Saruman is building a giant army of half-orcs. He calls them, he's fighting Urakai. They're very, very strong, and it's going to be quite a big problem for pretty much everybody. They are by far the most nasty and vicious orcs that have ever been bred, and they can walk in sunlight with no problem. He's also made some Olog-hai, which are trolls that can walk in sunlight as well. It's really going to just fuck up everyone's day. And he's planning on not only turning this army against Rohan and Gondor, but eventually against Sauron himself. That once the rest of the free people of the Middle-earth are out of the way, Sauron's just going to turn, knock Sauron out of the game, and take over all.
Great. Fantastic.
Yep, that's the plan. And as long as Sauron doesn't have the ring, there's really nothing to stop him from working, so you're all screwed. You should just get on the winning team right now.
I mean, if he's your master and you were an absolute pushover, so...
Well, to be fair, I am 13. This was supposed to be a much longer con. I was not supposed to be found out this soon. Clearly something has gone off the rails.
What's the ring reacting to this?
So he's breeding super soldiers.
God damn.
But couldn't we just I don't know, infiltrate Isengard and spread some pamphlets around?
And Grima looks at you like you're stupid.
I mean, the guy's bound to get smashed in the back of the head with something eventually. If he's breeding soldiers who are the best soldiers ever made, better than Morgoths or Saurons or, even the races created by Eru Ilúvatar, then obviously, eventually, they're just going to kill them and take over. It's kind of a bad plan.
She's not wrong.
The fighting Urakai are not so strong that they could stop Sauron, and they're loyal to him. He's given them plenty of man flesh to eat. He's chopping down the forests of Fanghorn to fuel their machinery. It's a very good relationship. They like him. He doesn't torture them. He lets them do the torturing. He's a better master than Sauron and Morgoth ever were. He understands that you keep your employees happy.
Sotra's fuming.
Orcs need more than man flesh to be happy. That's not how orcs work.
Yes, I'm sure you've convinced yourself that you're a very complicated individual, but if you succumb to your true nature as an orc and just went about murdering and eating those who offended you, you'd realize you're much happier doing that. You don't need to live as a person. You need to live as a weapon.
Mimosa,
There's his face just starts twitching.
Sotra hits him with the pommel of her sword.
Don't.
Ow! Ow! Brutality! This is why no one likes elves. You think you're so much better than people.
She shoves his face into the floor.
Let's not torture
Sotra.
the teenager.
Don't torture the teenager. Just put a sock in his mouth. And
Your Highness,
Mimosa puts a
Rambo.
sock in his mouth.
Rambo, give me your sock.
this child needs some form of punishment.
This child needs a spanking is what he needs.
So, Rambo,
Socha,
give me your sock.
I don't wear shoes.
Damn it!
Let's not torture him. State
I'm
of
putting
being
it.
a teenager is torture enough.
He
putting
has to
a
be
sock in
gagged
his mouth.
because, he can convince people to do things with his voice.
I'm not worried about the
Somebody
gag.
give me a
I
sock.
don't have socks. I just
Okay.
don't wear shoes.
That's fair, Rambo. Somebody else give me a sock.
Just use his own sock. Why is
Oh,
this difficult?
that's torture, though! God damn!
Sotra takes his own sock.
Okay, make a fortitude save.
What?
Make a
Fortitude
fortitude
save.
save.
Fuck.
Don't touch
It's
the sock!
Oh no!
It's
Is that
Constitution. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Constitution save. Sorry.
7. Shit.
Oh, God.
Okay, you projectile vomit for a solid 2 minutes.
Oh,
Jesus.
God.
By the end, your throat is burning.
I'm gonna kill him.
No, you're not.
He's
But
only
you
a
now
child.
have a slightly vomit-flecked sock to put in his mouth.
He did. She shoves that in his mouth.
What he needs is a good disciplinarian environment. Maybe we should think about sending him to the Mirkwood Elves.
I think at the very least we should send him to a dungeon for now. Guards, take him away. My child does not deserve to see this. And the guards take Grimo Wormtongue away to the dungeon.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
You should probably keep that.
When I woke up today, I heard of the horse theft, and I thought that was going to be the worst thing. But Isengard raising an army of Uruk-hai against all of us, and they were trying to mind control me. That's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you should probably keep a gag in his mouth. Maybe
we
take out that gag, but,
Maybe not. Maybe not for a while.
maybe take out that gag because he's only 13. And he's been corrupted by somebody else stronger than him.
I was 13
Well,
once. I know what
between-
he deserves.
Well, between this and the missing horses, I suppose it also explains where the missing horses went. Probably.
Our ability to fight on horseback is one of the things that makes us particularly strong as a nation. If you remove our horses, we're significantly crippled.
The
Either
question
way, it's best to
is,
try to go resolve that as quickly as possible. So we have.
the question is whether Saruman is intelligent enough to equip his Uruk-hai with horses as cavalry, or if he assumes they're just stupid and fed the horses to them.
That's assuming he took the
Well,
horse.
the horses were taken last night, so they couldn't have gotten all the way to Isengard yet.
Yeah, it's not like they couldn't get him that far to Isengard. It's not like the hobbits or anything.
Here's a map of the trail now. Because I don't have an advisor to watch over my son, I will have to remain here, but otherwise I would go with you.
Just protect
Can
your
you?
son.
Can you reclaim Rohan's horses for me?
I
Yes.
still maintain by my factor and my standing as a cowboy that I will in fact wrangle those horses back into town.
If so, I will send a raven to my brother, and he shall come over to watch over my child, and I shall go with you as ambassador of Rohan to this council you're holding, so we may talk about resisting the forces of Sauron and Saruman.
Why not send your brother with us so you can make sure your son is safe yourself?
Listen, he's a good man, but he's not the brightest.
Fair enough.
I trust him to stab people, not to watch over a child. Jesus Christ.
He has 2 children of his own, so.
Alright, fair enough.
He gets up off the throne, puts his son down, and bows to you, Erina, and says,
Aw.
I am enchanted to meet the oft-talked-about Lady of Erebor.
Aw.
Or in a thousand kind.
That's so cute.
Smoothie. He's a smoothie.
He's
Say
a
it.
bit of a, he's a himbo dilf.
Not Arena's type, but She
All right.
Serena knows a bro where she sees one. Anyway,
Okay.
Serena was gonna.
If I was a younger man,
Anyway, what's the ring stance on the whole revelation so far?
And the ring is not volunteering its information, but if you would like to talk to it, you could ask it about some things.
So as it turns out, he was cursed. That's good observation on your part.
Yes, well, very easy to tell when someone's been ensorcelled.
Well, but it's also somewhat good news for us, since that means Saruman and Sauron aren't quite on the same page.
Of course not. Of course, Sauron would expect that Saruman is not entirely loyal. I think Saruman is quite overreaching himself.
Says the ring. It's like, oh, that's the little bitch.
That's what.
The Lord of the Rings and the audacity of this bitch.
Where are we right now?
In the grass.
You know, looking at the tokens, we've actually got quite a decent fellowship.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that it's funny that we're getting to the party size of the Hobbit in the Lord of the Rings instead of the other way around.
Why do we have two flogs?
Do we have two frogs?
I didn't see the other one. There we go.
This is
He
Dad.
vanished.
Okay, so do you guys go out? Do you have any other business before you go out?
Nope, we're going
Nope.
to go try to find those
I want-
horses.
Okay.
Oh, and the-
Oh,
oh,
horses.
So you travel a bit, along the map, and eventually into the wilds, beyond where the map leads. But you do some tracking, and eventually you do find some horses. Yep. You find some horses,
some red dots.
What? Oh my god.
and as you get closer and closer, you eventually see there are not only horses, but there are several orcs rounding those horses up,
It's my favorite
keeping
icon.
them all together.
What's it look like? It's so small, I can't tell.
Oh man, I
One
want to
second.
be with you. And
I'll post it
be
in
with
the
you.
normal chat. It's my favorite fucking thing ever.
What the hell?
Was this ring right the
Oh,
pickle
I
before
wanna
it became a rice?
And you hear from the far side of the herd of horses, someone singing, "My little ponies, my little ponies, ah, my little pony. Never knew what fun friendship could be,
What?
till
What?
you all shared its magic with me."
What?
I immediately hate this gentleman, whoever the fuck he's singing, because A, he's a horse thief, and B, damn, I don't like someone who can sing like I can.
I'm imagining the orcs are singing back up.
Beans, it's a Nazgul.
And yep,
Fuck.
there's a horde of horses, a whole bunch of orcs, and one fucking Nazgul with a giant fucking hammer in the shape of a horse's head attached to one of his arms.
Huh, I suppose that's Helm Hammerhand.
Joy.
The history books were so wrong about this guy.
So,
However-
I do think we can-
And as much as a faceless, skeletal undead monster can look, it can have expression, Helm Hammerhand just seems fucking delighted to have this many horses, to the point that the orcs around him are sort of a little weirded out by it, that he's just this fucking happy to have all these horses.
That's an equestrian
So-
for you.
How do you guys want to play this?
Well,
They have not noticed you yet.
Sneak
Yeah,
attack.
they want to do
We're gonna
this.
ponder. I don't think we fully take on a Nazgul, nonetheless a whole party of orcs.
There's
So I have an idea or two. Idea one. Since we know him by name, which we can approach him by name and inform him of Saruman's plan and treachery, or we portray that we're part of Saruman's forces and tell him that Rahan is under our control. Saruman's forces.
I might be a good person enough to confuse him like that, but at the same point, my entire urge to stab this Nazgul is incredibly high.
And I'm not going to get close. Me and Kraven should stay back.
Yeah, it's probably smart.
But I can, just in case, prepare a shot with bow if things go badly.
By the way, I do not think a confrontation with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 orcs and a Nazgul wise. No, that's 8 orcs and a Nazgul.
I forgot Aragorn had Bishi sparkles. Sorry, I just looked up and I saw that icon. Like, oh fuck.
Beashy sparkles.
Orcs with the Nazgul I have doubtful.
I mean, I've always got a couple of tricks up my sleeve, but
I'm going to stay back here with Sotra and Crabine just in case things go south.
I think if we're gonna try to talk to them, probably should send the orcs.
Yes, the orcs, and think myself, since I am also well versed in the black.
They want the dragon to hang back.
Of course. The Rogoth?
Drogoth nods and flies and lands on Strider's back. Strider looks a little weirded out, but then accepts having a little snake monster wrap around his neck.
Alright. So do we want to go with the Rohan has subjugated plan, or the Saruman has betrayed them plan?
I'm going to guess that the Saruman has betrayed them plan is going to get more results.
but they might take the horses.
Guys, can we pause real quick? I gotta get Shannon.
Yeah, sure.
Plan while we wait.
Yeah.
If we tell them about Saruman, we could tell them that we're here to watch the horses, quote unquote, while they deal with that.
Do these orcs look like regular Mordor orcs, or do we think these might be the new orcs that Saruman's been breeding?
Helm Hammerhand has Mordor orcs with him.
Uh,
They have the livery of Mordor and everything.
Alright, so these are
Those
Mordor.
great big eyes on their chests and all that.
I mean, in theory, what we could do to cause a distraction and then weave in and out is cause the horses to stampede. I got some tricks for that. I also can make the orcs panicked as well. It's always a possibility. But I mean this in the nicest of ways. I am genuinely not sure if I do my big intimidation, big buff scary thing, and little Crambo man, though I am mad, would work on the big boy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I wonder if the auditing boy would work, though. That we're part of the that we're part of the Mordor auditing team and we have dark news.
I mean, that worked on orcs. I don't know if it would work on a Nazgul.
If we could convince the Nazgul to leave the orcs, if we could get him off on his own, we might have more success.
If we can get the Nazgul to leave, we have a higher chance of getting the horses back from just the orcs, yes.
Maybe we could tell that. He seems like horses. Maybe we could lure him away with a promise of, I don't know, special horses or something.
No,
You remember those ones
wait.
Gandalf had?
Damn it.
That's canon.
It's canon from the
I-
first episode.
I think only Gandalf could call those horses.
He doesn't know that.
The thing we could do that is almost guaranteed to work is say that Saruman is planning to take these horses away from him.
Yeah, but what if he wants to bring the horses with him to fight Saruman?
I mean,
You don't bring horses to fight a wizard!
I'm imagining Hellhammer just sending a wave of horses like the last unicorn.
Man grabs a horse, chucks it at Saruman, just chucking horses at him. He wouldn't expect it. You wouldn't expect to be dealing with horse lobbies.
If he likes horses this much, I don't think he would risk them being destroyed by a wizard.
I mean,
We could convince him that we came to watch the horses for him while he dealt with that.
Or flee to Mordor to go tell his boss.
Anything so long as we get him to leave.
While
I-
this is going on, Arena's going to ask her mental head council what they think the best solution is.
I do have that one ring we found a while back that
You don't want to use any of them.
Don't use the
He'll
ring.
know.
I think you have the one ring.
and I'm 90% sure that the ring that allows me to talk with birds is not in fact the one ring.
But
Thank you
Bird-
very much.
magical
cannot
rings
use-
will catch their
Yeah.
eye.
Yeah.
I am a bard. I am entirely based upon the fact that people catch their eye. I am what we call
We
a
don't
distraction.
we don't want them to catch us in their eye is the problem.
If
Yeah,
they
well-
know we have rings, they will chase us, whether it's the One Ring or not, until they find out whether it is or not.
Arena, you're
And-
gonna.
Yep, we don't want to use Crambone as bait while the ring wrath goes chasing off after him.
I am volunteering as bait. Is
Rambo?
what I'm saying.
Crambone?
Bad plan.
Guys, Titi was trying to speak.
Arena, you want to talk to the ring?
Well, her mental council in general.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, she's asking, alright, that's our options. What do you two think?
Well, I do think it would be hard to shoot all of them before they could get to you. So talking it out is probably smart. Sauron worked for Morgoth, according to Smaug. It seems like he would be well versed in treacherous understudies, being one himself. If you tell Sauron that Saruman is planning against him, that may hurt things for you in the long run. Because then Sauron will be planning for Saruman's betrayal. He'll be prepared when the trap is sprung. Whereas right now, that is probably just a thought in his head, not something that he necessarily has to act on right now, just to keep aware of. You could be preparing him for something that could otherwise catch him unawares. That may not be a hand you want to show just yet.
Right, that's one. So the Rohan is already subjugated the idea, though.
From what Smaug said of Sauron, he does not seem like the type who lashes out immediately at those who are trying to betray him. He seems like he would wait until the point to spring the trap is right, and lead Saruman into destroying himself if possible. Which is not good for our goals going forward. He's not going to be the kind that immediately lashes out and causes a great deal of turmoil and undercuts himself. He'd be using Saruman as long as he can and disposing of him when the need arises. We don't want to have him prepared for that. We don't want him to actively be planning that yet. As long as he thinks Saruman is loyal, Sauron can be caught unawares by Saruman's eventual betrayal.
How did you deal with this situation?
Also, if I may add to the table, how the hell haven't they noticed us yet? There's like,
Because we're technically paused until our whole party gets back.
I know this is in character. It's just Grandma's like,
Because you're
They're staring at the horses.
you're upwind of them.
okay. Everything about the
It's a hilly plain. You have the high ground, Anakin. So you're better. You're in a better position.
damn it, fucking high ground.
Alright, so with that option out of the way, the only option I can think of is tell them that Rohan is already subjugated. So bringing the horses back there.
The problem is none of you have the livery of Isengard.
That's true, that's true.
Mm.
And I don't think we can take out a Nazgul.
It would be difficult. A Nazgul aided by several orcs. This would be quite a challenge to win in a fair fight.
What if we just ask him to put the horses back?
I don't think you do that. Hammerhand loves horses.
Don't think that's going to work, Crambo. And he seems to be really into these horses.
I mean, I'm into horses. I want a fucking horse, and this man took all the goddamn horses. Frankly, he's
How do
on
you
my
know
head.
he loves horses? What? How do you know he loves horses?
I think it's kind of obvious now.
He has a horse head hammer for a hand. I suppose that's true. Could just mean he's from Rohan. I'm sure he was. Former king of Rohan turned into a Nazgul. Probably why they stationed him here, because it's smart to have a native do the. Why is he stealing horses though? No, it doesn't. Yeah, they have all sorts. They have all sorts of things there that they can ride other than horses. They have dogs. Dogs are better. They've got teeth.
I mean, so do horses.
Horses look funnier than dogs. Yeah, they do. They're creepy. It's creepy, bitey things. You know, the half of their leg is just one long finger. It's gross.
Sauron
Gross.
hates horses.
We found the Dark Lord's weakness.
I could knock the
We have
Nazgul
mounts
back.
back at home. Mounts back at home.
You have mounts back at home. Maybe that's what you could do. You could just tell him that Mordor doesn't need horses. Because it doesn't. It works.
So what you're saying is the Mordor auditing team is a good idea to use for the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it. Do it again.
All right, I think I have a better idea. It sounds stupid, but
Well, stupid worked last time, so
I mean,
we go with the auditing team thing again.
I mean, I am an Urka. I could say I'm from Sauron.
I did.
Saruman. Damn it.
they both start
I
with
mean, I
S.
did bring the skull mask. It might disguise me.
We come in saying that we're part of the Mordor auditing team and ask them why they need horses when they have like wargs.
I mean, to
Do you
be
know
fair,
how
you could probably.
expensive these fucking bastards are to keep up? We don't have this in the budget.
Exactly, that's why the auditing team would work.
Well, it
Alternatively,
did work last time.
Alternatively, we could just tell him that Sauron thinks horses are stupid. He wouldn't know the difference. He'd be mad. He loves these things. He could just immediately fly home and be like, Sauron, what you talking about? You hate horses. And then Sauron's like, the fuck are you talking about? And that allows us the time to steal the horses back.
probably just kill you all because Sauron wouldn't be that indelicate. I imagine.
We can't hear the ring, so we have no fucking idea what he just said.
I mean, if we're gonna go dumb, we might as well double down, right?
Well, let's just. I'm not going to use such indelicate language. I think the more bureaucratic and
Up your own
bu-
ass.
bureaucratic speech we go, the more likely it's going to work.
Talk like the mayor, Crambone.
No, I say no.
He briefly became Grima Wormtongue there.
He's,
Oh no, the infection's.
His body rebelled so hard it became
either
green.
way, the ones who should be speaking are the ones who know black speech. So
I don't know what Crambo knows languages. Why it's been a hot minute? Let me look.
Fucking bard, just throw half the book at it.
And, unfortunately, Sotra and Crabine getting close is a very bad idea. We can disguise them from this distance.
I suggest having both the hobbits on standby in case things go south, as well as our elven companions, and have me and the orcs.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay back here and aim my bow just in case things go badly.
Kraben puts a hand on Sotra and turns both of them invisible with magic, bitches.
Oh, what the
Yay.
fuck?
Well, that also works.
What? How? Crabby?
A magic.
Bitches.
She did
That
say
is
she
very-
was practicing magic.
Yeah, I know. That is very impressive, Kraben.
Thank you.
Mr. Hammerhand, we are part of the. Okay, got it. We're part of the Bordeaux auditing team.
I need to perfect my character. Give me a second.
I mean, if we're being completely honest, we do have the high ground. We're all right. They're not going to notice us. That buddy down there who wears a terrible hat and is a horse thief, the worst kind of thief there is. He's too occupied by the horses. The orcs might notice us, but they ain't going to say shit. They're orcs.
But yeah,
They don't
having
want to get pissed off.
Hobbit and Strider up on the hill and holding their action out of character would probably be the wise idea in case somehow this goes south.
Yeah.
Yep. I am completely up for that. I'm ready.
So both the orcs are fairly tanky, so we can roll with the poor warlock who's just putting herself on the front line.
Yeah, if she goes south, I'm gonna.
South
I'm-
and I can Misty step away.
That's fair.
We're invisible, so if shit goes south, I can just stab someone in the back.
Yeah.
I got one free stab. It'll drop after that, but that's a free stab on somebody with sneak attack, just guaranteed.
I like it.
Okay.
And plus, we also have our barbarian up front too.
Yeah.
We just
Except
have to
all,
wait for her to come back.
all the orcs are fairly tanky. They're fine.
They're fine.
Arena,
It's just
as
an
we're waiting,
asshole.
as we're waiting, Arena's getting out parchment to make it all look official looking Mordor auditing.
Don't know if Mordor uses fucking paper.
Yeah, you might want to write that on skin.
Parchment
Don't
is skin.
think they even-
Oh,
it's
Shit.
sheepskin.
shit.
Arena's taking some coffee grounds to make it look like it's been stained in ash.
Make it old and shitty so stupid people will believe it.
Like cosplayers.
Kraben,
That's exactly what they do.
Kraben.
Yes.
And things get dangerous. If things get dangerous, you need to be away from from everything else. Use your magic from as far away as you can.
Yeah, cool. Got it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right.
I do have one request. If this does go down into a bare knuckle brawl fight like we're thinking it might go down into, or as I'm thinking it might go down into, I want the sincere pleasure of stabbing the man and roughly in the genital areas because he's a goddamn horse thief.
That's all you can
I
reach
don't-
anyway, Kraven.
I don't care. It's the one thing I want. And I'll take his fucking hammerhead of the horse as a fucking trophy. Fucking horse thief. No greater sin on this goddamn planet than stealing a man's horse. Or a hobbit's horse.
I would argue there
Strider
are...
looks at you and is like, "Have you ever seen a horse, Crambone?"
Yeah, he has actually.
Now he has.
Are we certain now?
Remember?
Literally, when I reintroduced for the Fellowship of the Ring, I had a horse with me. I just left it somewhere.
It's in the Shire.
It's in the Shire.
It's getting real
Either being-
fat.
Either being taken care of or it's being eaten. One of the two.
It's being taken care of. They like
It's
horses.
being taken care of. They're not goblins. They're not going to eat a horse in the Shire.
That's why I left it in the Shire. I know they'll take care of him up there.
Unless it's one of those Taxville Bagginses.
I was in the bathroom before.
Fucking Hacksville Baggins is almost as bad as these fucking horse thieves.
Damn.
Easily.
I can understand the passions of murder. I can understand wanting to take something from somebody else. But you steal a man's horse, you take a part of his identity. You can't just fucking do that. You're severing a bond there.
As the son of a Rohirrim, Flog just stares at him going, "The fuck are you on about?" It's like, not even the Rohirrim are this much in the horses. Jesus, man.
Goodbye, horses.
You're all too young to
You
understand what that
don't
means.
exist at all.
Did you just like, no, I thought you deleted the horses.
That would have been fucking funny.
And they're gone now.
Sadly, I haven't figured out how to do a mass delete in Roll20 yet.
It's just backspace.
No, we
I know how to delete in Roll20. I don't know how to do a mass delete in Roll20.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you have
as
to
us,
select them all on the map. You just, like,
click, drag, and then hit backspace, or is it more
Yep.
complicated?
click, drag, hit backspace, basically.
Oh, okay. Weird. I thought Roll20 was going to be obtuse about it.
No, they're pretty good about letting you delete things.
It's the fucking updates that kill you.
Like Windows 10.
They're not that bad. I'm giving them credit. They at least put something useful in when they update and break shit.
Windows 10 is awful. The last time Windows 10 updated, I had to fucking reinstall Windows 7 from the disk and then upgrade back to Windows 10.
The fuck?
Because the update literally just destroyed my Windows install to the point it wouldn't even boot.
The last Windows update I had completely destroyed my sound driver.
Windows 10 updates are like some kind of like Lovecraftian force that just brutalize your computer.
I'm fairly certain Windows updates are designed to fuck up your computer to force you to buy a new one.
Probably.
They actually tried when I was reinstalling Windows 10. They kept popping up. Are you sure your computer is compatible with Windows 10? Why don't you buy one of these pre-built laptops instead?
I have never had a computer work better after a Windows update. At best, it works the same.
Yeah. I was gonna say I have a newer laptop and it gets Windows updates, and thankfully it doesn't seem to be affected by them yet. Knock on wood.
The best Windows update I've gotten is the Windows update that allows me to postpone updates.
Then they took it out like 2 updates later.
Yeah, you know, and you
Well,
can
yeah,
only
because people
pause
didn't.
it.
Now people weren't buying his computer. The computer sales went down. Also, before we all go potentially die, is there anything anybody wants to get off their chest?
Crambone, when we were on the road, I had some of that jerky, and you took some without asking. And I've been craving it for the last 5 days, and I will have to go back to the other rangers to get some. and it was just really inconvenient for me. I was saving it. I was parceling it out for the whole trip.
Wait, what happened?
Is this Aragorn?
Yeah, it's Strider.
Wait. I just got back. What the fuck was that?
We're airing grievances before we possibly die fighting a ring wraith.
Wait, no, but what?
And Strider is bringing up the fact that Crambone ate some of his jerky without asking. And inconvenienced him slightly as a result.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess that technically counts as a grievance.
Yeah, no, that counts.
Yeah, that counts.
I just joined like a day ago, so I have no problem, says Crabben.
Give it a minute.
All just shrugs. Mm.
Sotra, I mean, Durza looks at Sotra and then says, "You're cool." But
He's invisible, but Sotra looks at Durza and says, "You're cool too."
Development!
Jesus fuck.
You're cool.
I mean, like,
Durza looks in one direction where she thinks Sotra is, and Sotra's just right behind her.
Oh shit.
It just. Yeah. Flog goes, Sotra, I think you need to chill. That's it.
I think you need to not chill.
No. Trying to stab everyone after someone after every other sentence is not
It's
chill.
been okay. It was like what, one time since we've left again?
it's been about three.
Well,
It's been multiple people. Granted, some of them deserved it, but
Hey, since we left Erebor, I've only wanted to stab one person, and that was the one who mind controlled a king.
he also like vaguely try to like threaten the crazy man who said there was a dragon stealing horses.
I told him to speak calmly. That was not a threat.
I was going to say inside.
God damn it. Okay, so
you know, I wonder if we all die, is this ring wraith just gonna be like just tossing a pile of rings up in the air excitedly because we all have one of the fucking things.
Probably.
He'll know when he touches the right one.
Oh God. Sotra looks at Crambone. You be you, Crambone.
I've been trying. All y'all been like, oh, don't go fucking go murder the ring wraith. Don't go stab him in the dick for stealing horses.
I don't think you
We're
could kill him, Crambone. I'm sorry.
We're not saying not stab him in the dick. We're saying wait 5 minutes.
I'm saying not to do it.
Or what I'm saying, wait 5 levels. Not even then will be high enough, but hey.
I mean, in canon, the ring wraith, the fucking, not just the ring wraith, but the fucking witch king was killed by a hobbit and an untrained foot soldier, so it's not like they're that tough.
That was like prophecy bullshit.
Not really.
the prophecy
She's still being fair
bullshit
and
was
square.
bullshit. That prophecy was complete bullshit because it wasn't a fucking prophecy. Fuck you.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't have touched that button. That sets Mimosa off.
No, I agree. Prophecy is bullshit, but still.
I remember one time I was back visiting the Shire after a bit of an extended leave, and I saw Mimosa fighting some kids. And I was like, Mimosa, what are you doing? And Mimosa's like, I'm fighting these kids. And I'm like, what you mean, Mimosa? And she's like, prophecy bullshit. And I mean, yeah, you're right.
Fuck you, Glorfindel. Go eat a dick.
Oh, yeah, no one can be sorcerer, but she's gonna be.
This isn't
Kill
in
Saul.
character. This is me saying Glorfindel can go eat a dick.
Holy question. I'm invisible. If I pull out Orc Christ, is the glow visible?
Everything on your
Nope.
person is invisible.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Cool. Then she's got a rapier in her primary hand and Orc Christ in her secondary hand. Just in case.
I'm sure elves valued stealth around orcs, so they, try not to handicap themselves.
Also, context when Arena was shaking Theoden's hand, casting Remove Curse, she was looking back at Arena over Theoden's shoulder, giving the smuggest fucking look.
That's fair.
Where the tongue got fucked.
So, as much as I'm loving this heart to heart, are we just gonna stand here and talk until the ring
Waiting
race
for
leaves
Dorothy.
with the horses?
Dorothy went and took needed to go take a bathroom break, which I mean makes sense. You don't want to die with a full bladder.
Trust
What?
me, you don't want that.
Watched it happen to a man once.
I've seen it happen to several people.
I would prefer just not to die, but
I'm sorry, Sotra. Not all of us are war veterans. Some of us are just vagabonds who may or may not have had bloody hands and things they're not willing to talk to folks about.
What? I'm sorry, Crambo, and what?
Don't worry about it.
something
I'm
about
back.
bloody hands. I
Welcome
think he
back.
might be experimenting with lyrics or something.
Oh, that reminds me of the Blitz.
We're all kind of fucked up, aren't we?
Entirely.
Air raid sirens are going off in Arena's head.
Speak for yourselves. You're all fucking fucked up.
An invisible hand lands on Aaron's shoulder.
You know, her face doesn't change. It's just that.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
We're back.
Dorothy, you back?
We should tell her the plan.
All right. So we're going to go with the auditing plan. Everyone but me and the orc and goblins stay back.
remind me what that plan is.
We are going to go forth, and you're basically my muscle, and you're the Mordor auditing team. Because Mordor doesn't have the vegetation and farms to sustain these horses. God damn.
And I'm gonna sneak up in case.
All
And
right.
what? No, not alright. You're gonna sneak up and what?
Sorry.
The
In case
orcs
things go
the-
bad, I'm going to stab the ring wraith in the back. Because I'm invisible. Krabbit can do that, apparently.
Stay back with your bow for now.
I mean,
Yeah.
they can't see me.
We
I don't
don't
even
know
need
that.
to make a stealth check because I'm invisible.
We don't know that. They could have, like, blind sense or something.
Stay back
Okay,
for
so
now.
So what am I telling them?
Let me do the talking. You're basically the agreeing / muscle.
Alright. Dorothy pulls out a clipboard.
Yeah,
Where did you get that?
Arena hands her the fucking some of the parchment. Hands it to everyone. Part of the fucking auditing team.
All right. Move yourselves down.
It's like, Mr. Hammerhand, Arena says in black speech.
Helm Hammerhand whips around and looks at you with his fucking empty hooded face and says, "Who goes there?
Oh, we are part of the Mordor auditing team.
Ah!" And he rushes towards you. He starts running towards you and gets right up to your face, raising his hammer up and swinging as he goes. And he stops with the hammer like just inches above your head and says, "My old nemesis, the Mordor team." And then he slowly lowers the hammer so that it's no longer actively threatening you. "What is it this time, you little puke?"
Did he smack an orc on the way there?
Nope. He was careful. He's more controlled than he lets on.
Yeah.
The orcs around him look fucking terrified though, while the horses are just happily grazing.
Yes, we were investigating the finances and why you've been AWOL for a minute, and what are
Listen, we don't have many horses in Mordor. I just wanted to take a few.
We have wargs, Mr. Hammerhand. We have wargs.
Oh, but they're not so pretty. They're all snarly, and you have to talk to them in warg speech.
We don't have the pastures to maintain these horses.
How many times have I had this argument? We can have a couple of horses. I'll take care of them.
That's more than a couple.
You could.
How many do you have right now, sir?
I mean, can one really count a horse?
They'll
How
die.
many?
They'll die if we don't have the resources to feed this many. They'll die of starvation within.
I will make the resources. We'll just clear out a town of orcs. It's fine.
We need those for the war effort.
But what if we had horses, though?
Listen,
It would be a lateral move.
Give me 9. Give me 9 horses.
Listen, we're getting a shipment of Uruk-hai from Isengard within the week.
Oh, Isengard. We don't need Isengard. I've told Sauron that Saruman can't be trusted.
And I'm fairly sure he knows.
Yes, but he's still lying of the stupid bastard. Now we've got these Isengard half-orcs coming around, acting all imperious. I bet they get horses.
Listen, sir, I'm just doing my job in the bureaucracy.
Yes, you're always just doing your job. Everyone in the auditing department's just doing their job. I am a Nazgul. I outrank you.
Your Highness.
I don't know that that's true.
Listen, you're clearly from the Misty Mountains. You're not aware of how things work in Mordor. We have a very rigid command structure. Now, just because the auditing department has certain powers against all departments does not mean that I don't still outrank you.
Dorothy just nods and begins frantically scribbling something on the clipboard.
Bloody Cecil is doing his job. Why aren't you?
Oh, Cecil's job is to wander in the wilderness and stay out of our way. That's a very easy job, and he'll probably mess it up.
Aww.
I mean, he's right, but
Rambo's about to jump out of a fucking hill and stab a man in the dick.
Does not work well with others. Dorothy mumbles as she scribbles on the clipboard.
Man, have I not worked well with you? I mean, he did promise us horses, and now we got horses.
Listen, you have wargs back in Mordor. They have chompy jaws.
And he won't let us eat the horses. And he did say we couldn't eat the horses. Yeah, I kind of want to eat the horses. You don't eat horses! You ride them! You brush their beautiful manes! You give them nice shoes!
Listen, Mr.
Saddles! You feed them apples, and you
When the
stroke
Dark
them and
Lord-
say,
When
I
the
love
Dark
you.
When the Dark Lord invades Rohan, chances are you're going to have all
Don't.
these factors.
Don't you bring the Dark Lord into this like you know him. I have known him longer than you. You are human. I have been here longer. I am a Nazgul. I know him. He is my friend. If I talk to him, he'll eventually let me have the horses.
Your Highness, Lord Hammerhand, if I may say, as a former king of Rohan, surely you know that Rohan is the only place suitable for horses. Beautiful green pastures. Surely you can wait until after Rohan has been conquered by the Dark Lord's forces and then have all the horses, instead of taking some back to Mordor, where they'll not be particularly healthy or robust like they would be here.
With his non-hammer hand, he strokes the hair of his Pinkie Pie keychain. But I want them now.
Good things come to those who wait.
Very well.
All right, Hazel, you go. He slaps one horse on the butt, and the horse, snorts and trots back in the Rohan direction. Butternut pats that one on the butt, and he goes, Black Beauty, Sea Biscuit, Bojack, Hollyhock, and just one by one, he goes through each horse and sends them all on their way, while the orcs are all like, oh, I was gonna eat that horse. No, you weren't!
They will be much happier while you deal with business, and they'll be waiting for you when you're done, sir.
Being responsible is not fun, and I want that on the record.
Listen,
Dorothy scribbled
I
on
don't see
the board.
I don't see why I can't just hang out with horses. I miss hanging out with horses.
listen. I'm a human. I understand the appeal of horses, but bureaucracy is bureaucracy.
Yes. I can
And
tell
they
looking
would
into your
start-
eyes. You are a person, and one of his bony hands like touches your cheek. You are a person who has seen the value of horses. These orcs don't understand, but you do. The beauty, the majesty. The perfect.
It's the man of the
Cat says bullshit.
Mittens, I told you to stay in my backpack. God damn it.
Isn't something special about it? I think you'll work your way out of auditing someday. Perhaps a high position, a new mouth of Sauron.
Well, that's how bureaucracy works.
There's just something about you. It's very... I can't put my finger on it, he says, tapping his hip, which happens to be just roughly at the same level you're currently holding the hand that holds the One Ring. Just something
Arena just
unique.
moves her hand
Well.
behind the back, like professional.
Fine. You have your way. You've audited well. Another victory for the auditing department. Someday I will have my horses.
When Rohan is conquered, you shall have your horses, Mr. Hammerhand.
Yes,
Good day to you.
yes, I will.
Now we have to go see what that asshole is doing.
Yes, Saruman. What a real piece of shit he is.
No,
Come, men!
No, I meant the other asshole. I saw
Oh, not that guy again.
That's not Larry. No, he's way north of here.
Well, that's where we'll run to next. The auditing team. No, the auditing team.
You know what? He has been doing a lot of extra trap work that is unnecessary. You should really talk to him about it.
Exactly, it's been a drain of the resources. I swear.
Yes, he just puts them in mountains that no one is going to. It's insane. No one's going for a stroll in the mountains and going to open up a chest that's just lying there and then get shot full of arrows. Just a waste of resources.
Is that why I got shot full of arrows when I opened that fucking chest?
I guess so.
God
Anyways.
fucking damn it.
Anyways, good day to you, Mr. Hammerhand. I'll put in a good word with the auditing division.
Good day. What was your name, madam? I never asked.
Hold on.
Okay.
That was me. I am Anira of the auditing division. Anira.
Anire.
Of the
I will make
auditing-
sure that they put in a good word for you, Anire. Come, man! Damn it. Come, orcs! Away! And Helm Hammerhead tromps off, and the orcs all follow reluctantly because they really wanted to eat those horses.
Wow, that went well.
And congrats. When you guys get back to Edoras, all the horses are being welcomed back in their stables, and all is well, and you have once again avoided a battle with a fucking Death Knight.
Grambo's a little queen.
Well, we had a battle, all right.
I have to say, this man was entirely entertaining.
I was trying to go for a Brian Blessed sort of voice.
It was good.
For some reason, I was getting Theodore Roosevelt vibes, and I can't
A
even
little bit
figure out why.
of Teddy Roosevelt too. I was just trying to make him boisterous and big sounding.
Yeah, you did that. Fucking Hellhammer.
Crabben just shakes her head. Still solving problems like the old days.
Why would we slap? It's worked well. It's worked well so far.
I'm not complaining. Just amazed.
I continue to be amazed as well. Though apparently it didn't work once with this whole pal rag thing. I missed all of that. I was chilling with Cecil.
Well, I don't think we can make the auditing rules work a third time, but
When dealing with royalty, it's good to stroke their ego and praise their kingdom. And, Helm Hammerhand is a former king of Rohan, so...
And so you guys get back to Rohan. Everyone's happy. They got their horses and their stables. It's all going super well. You get to King Theoden, and he says, "You have done marvelously. All of our horses are back. We are once again the horsemen of Rohan. You've restored our culture and our economy, and I will gladly go with you once my brother arrives here in a couple of days." And Grima Wormtongue is currently getting a bath.
Oh, good.
Are you sure he's not going to fall apart?
And you hear somewhere, "My precious goo! No!"
Are you sure he's not gonna disintegrate?
I'm not. But tonight we feast in Meduseld! And indeed you do. For the next couple of days, you feast and eat well in Rohan, and eventually the king's brother comes, and he joins you on your quest as the new ambassador of Rohan, while the brother stays in Edoras and watches over the young prince Eodred, who will never have anything bad happen to him ever.
Oh no.
Does two cousins come with?
Sadly, they're not born yet.
Okay. They're not old enough yet, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
we
we should-
messed up some of the timeline.
We've had to bend it a couple places to make things work, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So far, this timeline's better.
It's an alternate universe. Well, I mean, some things are worse.
Like Gandalf being dead, and the Balrog is actually on.
No one killed the Balrog in Moria, which means it's now free to go outside of Moria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some things are worse.
Doing our best to warn things that could stop him.
Bilbo fucked off.
Galadriel's having a midlife crisis.
I have a
At
bad
least she wasn't
feeling.
in the.
I have a bad
least-
feeling we're gonna see that Balrog again.
At least she wasn't in the Desolation of Smaug.
That's true. That is true.
She was in the previous Hobbit movies, though.
You know what I mean.
I'm going to call it there because we do not have time to do the Gondor stuff before I will need to start winding down. So
Okay.
Alrighty.
That is our-
That was a good place to end it, though. Holy
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
The Arctic Division wins again.
Do you want to sign off, TT?
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye, horses.
Oh god.
Good night, everybody.